Do I look like a nerd in this thing?
You look sexy in it.
Do I?
Why am I so bright and you're so dark? Is it?
Because you're sitting in the sun from there and I'm sitting in the shade. I think it looks magical.
Hello, it's Delilah and welcome back to my channel. Today I am joined by my hubby.
Yep, Zach. Yeah, that's my
That's
name.
where you say
yeah.
hi.
Oh,
obviously. We are sitting down to do a relationship Q&A. As usual, I went over to Instagram. You asked the questions. I got them here in no particular order, so just get into it. How do you cope with jealousy and insecurity? Can't say I've ever really been jealous or insecure. We have a lot of communication, open communication between the two of us, and I think that helps a ton. Like, when Zach is gone, I know where he is. When I'm gone, he knows where I am. We're communicating while we're out, and half the time, like, if one of us is out, we're with kids. You know, so like there's never really a time where... No. Lots of communication. There's a little William behind us.
Hey, buddy.
Do you want to join us? How do you keep the romance alive with little kids? I cannot tell you how many times I got this question. I feel like every time we sit down and do a Q&A, we get this question. Date nights.
Yep, very important. We try to do it at least once a week. Doesn't always happen. We both get very busy, but that's the goal.
I would say, like, our goal for this year was to have a date every single week. And I think we've done that almost every single week. Like, really, really close. Even if the date night is just sitting together, holding William in front of the TV, like, sometimes that's all we can manage to do, especially during that newborn stage. Yeah,
date night doesn't necessarily mean going out to a fancy restaurant once a week. Plus, that gets far too expensive.
Yeah, we don't go out very often, but we take time, like, at least one evening every week just to do something together. What are some little ways to show love to your partner, like small gift surprises, etc.?
You make me supper, I clean up supper.
That's a great one. We often make each other coffees. Like, if I'm making myself a coffee, I'll make Zach a coffee and vice versa. Like, little things like that. Acts of service, I guess. We do mostly acts of service for each other. We don't often do like gifts or things like that. That's not really our love language. How do you make time for yourself without being selfish from a mom with 2 kids under 3? Not sure if that's referring to like us together or us separately. I'll say it's about us together because this is a relationship Q&A. It's really important to spend time together, the two of you, even if it's just in front of your kids. Even if you're making your kids go and play by themselves while you guys spend time together, it's really important for your kids to see you spending time together and wanting to spend time together with no interruptions, for them to see us, just us. They find a lot of security in our relationship. If mommy and daddy are happy and in love with each other, that makes them feel really secure. That was something we learned in like a study we did a long time ago, and it's kind of stuck in the back of my mind. So I don't think you should feel selfish. I think that's something you should actually strive for. Excuse you. Back there. Has there ever been a season where you were just really, really not on the same page?
I'm sure there's moments. But I mean, for the most part, we talk about things and come to agreement. Whether it's business related or family, we agree on most things, both on the same page or compromise and kind of come up with something that you both agree on.
Our beliefs are the same, so that in itself, I think, makes a big difference in being on the same page as a couple. There's no specific time that stands out that we weren't on the same page, but I know there's been moments where it's...
Well, we definitely disagree.
Have our differences and disagree on things.
Absolutely, yeah. That's funny.
I guess who submitted that question?
That was a joke because I saw her questions.
Was it a joke though?
No.
Do you have any fears of falling out of love like 20 years from now, or what do you do to prevent that fear?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't say I fear it. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
No, it will not ever happen.
When we married each other, we said, I do, and that means until death do us part. Like, we are going to be together until we die.
With that being said, though, when all of our kids are out of the house, it's going to be weird.
It's going to be
And we're going to have
weird.
to not re-spark the flame, but it'll be interesting to refocus on ourselves, because right now everything that we do and love each other for is based around our kids, right? It will never die, but it's going to be a realization when that happens. We'll be like, well, now what do we do? Right?
Massive adjustment. I know a lot of people who were together until their kids moved out of the house and then split up because of that.
Yeah. And that, to me, with those stories, that just makes me want to love you even more.
That's why it is so important now, while our kids are little and our lives are so busy, to take time for each other, because we're going to be together
Establish
forever.
the relationship and keep it strong. And
Your kids are going to grow up, they're going to move out of the house, but you and your spouse are always going to be together. So that relationship is most important.
100%. Well said.
Thank you. Have you ever...
Sorry, never mind. Yeah, I've been realizing I say 100% a lot, and even like when I respond to some stories on Instagram, I always send the 100% emoji. 100%. And whenever I think of it, I sound, I don't know, I just imagine like a gangster saying it.
Oh, honey.
100%.
You also say, that's awesome.
No, I quit that. It's 100%.
Is it?
I think so.
It's funny listening to him talk to someone. And
When I'm uncomfortable talking to people and they're like telling me a story about whatever, I just agree and say, that's awesome.
every
That's
second word is,
awesome.
that's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. 100%.
So Zach's talking to someone, I'm just in the background losing it because he doesn't stop saying it.
Now all you're going to hear is 100%. Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. 98%. I don't know.
50%.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, that's actually a great idea, because I could base that off how much I agree with what they're saying. 20%.
Have you ever been to marriage counseling, and did it help? We've never done marriage counseling.
We did premarital counseling.
That was with our pastor through our church that we did that.
Lots of Christian churches around our area actually do that. When they marry couples, they want to establish sturdy ground for the couple to go into on a marriage.
But yeah, we've never been to counseling. Not that we have anything against counseling. We just have never thought to go, thought we needed it. How has adding a third baby affected your relationship with one another?
It's definitely keeping us more busy. Even when we're
Always.
like trying to spend time with the other two kids and trying to do something, then William needs to be fed, or William needs more priority attention than our other kids.
I wouldn't say it's different than any of the other babies. Like when
No.
Theo was born, when Eloise was born, it was kind of the same thing. Like
But it's definitely affected our relationship in the time department and how we manage
time,
that.
yeah. But in the sense that like he's in our room at night and he co-sleeps with us and stuff like that, that's the same as it's been with the other babies. So it's not like it's been that big of an adjustment. We're kind of used to it at this point. Did you deal with any drama because you got married young?
Like from others thinking, like talking about us? No. No.
It's pretty common.
There was lots of people when I was working that would kind of question why we got married so young, and that was our whole intention along, and we've never regretted it.
Yeah, I never got anything really. Delilah, do you find being intimate just as difficult postpartum as pregnant? No, being pregnant, that was hard. It hurt. I had this thing in the way, uncomfortable. Postpartum, it's more exciting again because you have that closeness again and things kind of move back into place, so it's not so painful. How do you decide whether a very annoying thing your partner does needs to change or just let it be? Well, you can't change anyone. That's not your responsibility to change others either. If it really, really, really bothers you, you can bring it up to your spouse. Things like leaving your clothes on the floor and stuff like that, but then you need to look at yourself.
Things like never putting camera equipment away.
I do things that bother Zach just as much as he does.
Cleaning the lenses.
Throwing the recycling in the garage.
Throwing the recycling just in the garage. Not even like in a bin. You just like open the door and chuck it in and it's gone from your world and it's into my world. So yeah, there's things, but that's just the way it is. It's not like argument worthy.
It used to bother me a lot when we first got married, but...
There's the
Is it
wipe
your
thing.
turn?
The wipe thing.
On the floor.
It's just full of puke.
He's also ready for a nap. If there is something that's really bothering you, it's also an opportunity to serve instead of become frustrated. To have a change of heart, to work on your heart, your servant heart towards your spouse. Like, Zach leaves his clothes on the floor all the time. So I'll often just pick them up and not say anything. Sometimes I'll say something, sometimes I won't.
Yeah. Oh, I pick up your camera equipment that's all over the place and clean it. So
yeah, for everything that he does or something I do, and it's just give and take.
Yeah, and I have stopped mentioning it, but sometimes I do.
Also, because I know there are things that I do that bug Zach, I can take it upon myself to try to change those things and to put them away when I remember to. And same with you.
Yes, I did put my pants away the other day.
Okay, thanks for that, hun. Intimacy after vaginal birth versus C-section. Anything different or unexpected? The one thing that still bothers me is my scar still hurts. Like that whole area is still quite tender, and you don't realize how much that gets in the way until you've had a C-section and you start to feel that pain. That part was unexpected and still quite frustrating because it takes away from the whole experience. How do you guys handle household chores? Who does what?
You do more laundry, cooking, and then I'll focus more on cleaning, especially at this stage. And since you're so overloaded with work, I've been doing more of like the mopping and vacuuming and bathrooms and stuff to give you more time.
You deal with a lot of outside stuff, car stuff, all that.
That's also my area. So I have been doing a lot for you.
You have been doing a majority of it. Our family dynamic has changed a little bit with Zach working from home. I would say I work more than Zach does. Mm-hmm. He has his own stuff he does, but he doesn't work as much as I do. And so he's taken on more of like the cleaning, like you said, and stuff like that. But things that he is not allowed to do is laundry and cooking. That's my area. Does doing YouTube affect your relationship in any way?
Time.
Just time. Every evening I'm working. That can really take away from our relationship because that would otherwise be time spent together.
When you're working late in the evening, I usually have something to do as well.
Yeah.
Work-wise, so.
But then we're not doing it together, like we're doing our own thing.
That's the challenge of working from home and having kids is you have to work essentially around your kids. So you have nap time and you have when they're in bed. So it's very challenging.
Last few nights we've been staying up till midnight just working because there's no other time.
And then still feeling like we haven't done anything.
Yeah. How do you best serve your spouse, and what are his love languages and what are yours? Our love languages are very much the same.
Yeah, probably more acts of service at this point. Chores, or like Delilah mentioned, bringing coffee or something kind of goes a long way, especially when we're exhausted from work. If one of us realizes that and focuses or takes on an extra chore or sees that you're exhausted and I make you a coffee or vice versa, it goes a long way.
Or you offer to take the kids so that I can just sit.
Yeah, so definitely acts of service, especially at this time.
Words of affirmation is also big for us. And then after that, like the other love languages are kind of on the small end. So those two are the biggest ones.
It's what keeps a person going when you're overwhelmed.
Yeah. Has there ever been a time in your relationship when you considered breaking up?
No.
Not once?
Never.
How long have we been together? Started dating when I was 16. I turned 25 this year, so...
Well,
9 years?
9 years total.
Never once have we ever thought about that.
No.
How has your relationship evolved after marrying so young? Where we are in life? Like when we first started dating, we were in high school.
Yeah, so life has changed our relationship in a way, but our love is still strong. It's cheesy, hey?
How do you stay on the same page when raising kids with like disciplining, training, cleanliness, etc.? Like I said, our beliefs are very much the same. So when it comes to parenting, there's really never been a time where we've disagreed on like disciplining or...
Lots of it's learning together too.
Yes.
And learning from mistakes and growing together in that, because it's really, I think, a team effort. Growing together is huge because there's things that we used to do that we don't do anymore because we've just... Excuse me. What are you doing?
I want to play.
Well, then go downstairs and play.
Can you go play downstairs? We're almost done, okay?
It's quiet time. She's supposed to be sleeping. Bring your timer here and I'll set it to 20 minutes for you.
I'll come read you a book. Or Mummy will, depending on time.
Whoever is the most available. When do you find time to just be together? Not sex, just cuddles. Every night before bed.
Yeah, we usually watch something in bed just to kind of wind down and relax our minds because
Yeah.
they're usually racing from the day. And okay, when this timer beeps, someone will come read you a book.
Okay.
Just don't turn it. Bump up the time. She would.
Yeah, every night it's become a routine. We watch an episode of The Office. So for 20 minutes, we lie in bed together, just cuddling, the two of us, and unwind from the craziness of the day. What is one of your favorite date night memories?
Well, the one we recently did with the catered thing,
Yeah,
that was
fun.
awesome.
We did a super belated 5-year anniversary date at home. Brought the kids to Gammy's house, and then we had someone come and cook in our kitchen and cater us.
It was delicious, and it turned out to be a beautiful evening. It was a little chilly, but there was no wind, so it was just perfect.
We sat
And
outside.
then we even went
on a
swimming
patio.
after.
Yeah.
It was a good.
Late
That was a
night
really,
swimming.
really, really good evening.
Yeah, that was nice. What was the best thing you did while dating that prepared you for marriage?
We spent a lot of time together.
But we spent a lot of, I don't know if this makes sense, but we spent a lot of realistic time together. Like, we didn't just go out on dates all the time and just do fun things. Like, we did,
We just
like
went over to each other's houses and with no plan and just hung out.
I would make supper with him for his family, and we would, you remember that? We did that a lot.
You made supper at our house?
Oh, all the time. We made
Really?
supper together for your family when they came home from work.
We did?
Yeah, after school we'd go to your house, and don't you remember that? We did that so often.
Probably.
Like, we did chores together. We did work together. We didn't just do fun things together. So it kind of prepared us for marriage life because
We realized how much we enjoyed spending time together in general.
no
whether
matter
it was
what it was.
dating or not dating.
Would like to hear your thoughts on how being Christian has influenced your relationship. There's a lot of different aspects to that, like saving ourselves for marriage. That was huge. The way that a marriage relationship works according to the Bible. So a wife is supposed to submit to her husband, but what is often missed or not said is that the husband is supposed to love his wife as God loves the church. He makes the decisions and runs the household, but not in like a overpowering way, but in a way that loves and serves his wife and his family. Do you regret only having one sex partner? No. No, I'm glad we never had anyone else, because what would be in the back of my mind all the time would be, am I as good as whoever?
We can both say we're the best we've ever had because it's only me and you.
Innocence is bliss, right? We don't know any better.
That's kind of a cool thought, though, is the fact that when we think about that, there's nothing else to think about besides each other, which is really, really cool and special.
What boundaries did you two have set in place when you were dating? Rules that my parents had were my door had to stay open. I had a curfew for a while. We were always a little late.
The one time I legitimately did get lost. This was very early in my driving experience.
That was our first official date.
Yeah, and we were
So
going...
my dad was...
Yeah. No, and I was legit... We were coming back from the movie theater, right?
Yeah.
And I took a wrong turn, and somehow we were like headed out of the main city, going in the opposite direction of where we lived.
I don't know. You have to figure out how to get back.
It was a legitimate excuse. Like, I was completely lost.
We were at least half an hour late, and we had already gotten an extended curfew because the movie
was
went
late.
late.
Yeah.
And so I got home super late, and my dad, he wasn't mad, but he didn't believe me when I said that we just got
He still
lost.
doesn't believe us to this day. And that's a legitimate... I
Nothing
will
happened.
take a lie detector
We had
test.
not even kissed at that point yet.
We held
We held
hands.
hands for the first time on that date.
Yes.
But that's it. Describe your first kiss.
Well, we rented a movie.
I'll let
And
you tell
then
the story.
I left, and I lived out of the town where Delilah lived. So in order to avoid late fees, I wanted to return the movie that night. And this is when you could rent movies at a gas station.
I think you still can.
Yeah. Anyways, I went back to go get the movie to return it, and I just for some reason decided that I was gonna kiss you. And so when you came and you brought the movie to me, I laid one on you, and then I got so nervous I had to sit down in my car because I was gonna pass out after all the hype, and I just remember feeling like I had to faint. And then I think we kissed again, and then
you left?
I left. Well, it was probably a little bit more romantic than that.
My favorite part is when you sat down afterwards. Kiss was just so good, you had to sit down.
I do remember feeling so nervous.
Uh,
What a funny story. Not as romantic as probably most people's.
well, we're not romantic people. So yes, that is the relationship Q&A. We do these every once in a while. So if you have more questions, make sure to follow me on Instagram because I'm sure I will be asking again and we'll do another updated one. But yes, thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.